rushed graze my constituency. It will not be after the next election if the proposals from the Commission are passed. I'm sure they will. That will be divided in two again, tip north and tip south. Look, it's untenable. The figures that I put to the Taoiseach out in the Dáil about numbers that have come in since 2018. With no documentation, absolutely none, through Dublin Airport. Now, Dublin Airport is only one. It's not saying about Belfast Port and airports and coming down by car, which I've evidence that they're doing this, and being taxied down, and also coming in Rosslare and God knows where else, Cork or airports. So, with absolutely nothing, no paperwork. And the Taoiseach had the audacity to tell me that about 12,000 was the figure I was debating in the Dáil a few weeks ago, of these people who've come this way. They were all trafficked. I mean, look, that doesn't stand up. Maybe a tiny minority, which is horrific that they are trafficked, but not at all. They're coming in walking. I mean, I have people contacting me that worked in Dublin Airport, Gardaí, retired now, that know what's going on and they see it coming through. So the thought then that they all get automatic medical cards is just a pure joke. It sticks in the craw of the cancer patients, of the Alzheimer's patients, of the seriously injured, of the patients, of the scoliosis patients, of all the other countless patients that are striving and begging to get a medical card and they can't. I think that international applicants, and I'm not being racist here, can get these things handed out, a PPS number, a medical card. It's very hard to get these documents, and they're worth a lot of money to people. And then our doctors and GPs are full up, they can't take any more across the country, and they're told to give these people a preference. What kind of a anti-Irish feeling have this government got in their heads? Everything they do at the moment is against the Irish. Today with the nature restoration law, they're saying we didn't even do enough. Everything is against the Irish, like crappies lie down. And I mean, they just seem to have taken a peculiar dislike for the Irish people. We had it all again today at 2 o'clock. This has happened again. No Taoiseach, no Taoiseach. We're accountable to this house here, and we meet Tuesdays at 2 o'clock, Wednesdays and Thursdays, and with neither Taoiseach nor Taoiseach today. I'm here almost 18 years. That just never happened. There'd be one of the two would be always here, and always the Taoiseach was here, without barely, with a grave exception. He's offered some high-powered European, or not even more than European meeting I heard this morning on the radio, deciding other things about our destiny here in Ireland. This is our parliament with the talk to Dáil, it's Jock and Shaw, it's the Dáil agus and Shannon, and it's Ufasa and Road and Taoiseach Osláthar Gominic.
I have heard the Taoiseach make an argument in the context of the immigration debate where he said that while some people advocate easy solutions to the immigration problem and they say, we should just enforce our borders, we should close the borders, we should do all of these measures that people have been calling for. He says that in reality, when many governments around the world have been elected that promised those things, they weren't able to implement them. And he gave examples like, for example, Donald Trump in America, he got elected and he said he was going to build a wall and then he never built a wall. Or you get the Italian government that got elected on immigration restriction and then you still have thousands of migrants arriving through Lampedusa. So he says that it's easy to promise these things, but then once you get into power and you're in the halls of government and you have to make these decisions, it becomes much more complicated and you realize that the law isn't that simple. And so he was essentially saying that people shouldn't be taken in by the sort of easy solutions of just saying, let's control our immigration, let's close the borders and so on. Do you have a reply to the Taoiseach's argument there?
I have. I'm not going to run away from your question and walk off and let you there. That's my first reply. My second reply is he would say that, wouldn't he? Of course he would. I want to know under what international or EU or national regulation that we are obliged to take in so many people. We're a small country. We showed our compassion and people opened their homes for the Ukrainian war. Thought it'd be short term. Now it's the second anniversary, I think today or yesterday, of that war. And we cannot just keep doing this. I had called for a cap all the time on the Ukrainian numbers coming in at 30,000. So I'd be out the window as regards the Taoiseach. So whatever gets into their heads inside in this big building when they go in. I mean, they are elected to run this government, run this country fairly and uphold the Constitution, which says that we should treat all our citizens equally. And we're giving preferential treatment to non-Irish citizens every day of the week. So, I mean, you can blame, say Donald Trump failed or Giorgia Meloni failed. He's responsible to the Irish people, not to the American people or to the Spanish people or Italian people or whoever else. But himself and Taoiseach Martin and their members are not listening to the people. And you mentioned Ross Gray, and I put down a topical issue, and now with Carl Nolan this week again, for Roger Cogorman, the Minister for Integration, to meet us for a debate in the Dáil here. He's refused again tonight to do it. The topic is at 11:30, he won't be available. He hasn't been available. This is my 6th, 7th, 8th time doing it since this happened in Ross Gray. But I want to say, the Minister for Justice was down in Thurles last week. I did question her in the Dáil earlier about this, and she flippantly and insultingly demonised and patronised the women and children and grandmothers and grandparents, all fine decent people in Roscrea who held a vigil outside the Garda station last Monday night week, because one of them had been stalked, a lady in the town, a widow, had been stalked at the Sunday night previous, and that particular Sunday night week, followed into her home, can't say too much more because it's under investigation. So they had a reason to get her, and a reason to protest at the Garda station. First of all, they used to have 27 Gardaí. They have somewhere around 7 now that are available to the public. They have 2 more, but they're on light duties and other issues. They're not out in public. 7. And when that lady requested a Gardaí, she had to wait a long time for him to come. And then another incident took place and they arrived en masse. So the minister to insult the people of Roscrea without listening to him. She's been fed a narrative by Deputy Cahill, obviously, of Fianna Fáil, and Michael Smith, councillor, and indeed by councillors in Tipperary. They have no TD, they're Fine Gael. That's what's going on in Roscrea. I've asked her to go down and listen to the people in Roscrea. They're not being interfered with, or any impressions created, or being, as she said, the word she used was, they're being infiltrated by the far right. No such thing. I've been there on a weekly basis with them, and indeed when there was an element of far right, they were ran out of town as quick as they came. They have huge issues in Roscrea for decades. They have a problem with lack of Gardaí and lack of services, and they have committees there now, and the minister won't even meet them. But this insulting, patronising language by the Minister of Justice, who doesn't know what's going on, and that's the same across all towns in Tipperary and the country. Not enough Gardaí, not enough supports. She keeps saying there is, but there's not. And I understand now a shocking figure of around 5,000 will be exiting the Gardaí force of 14,000 or 13,000 in the next couple of years. And the recruits aren't coming in, so we're facing an awful alarming situation. And she's her head in the sand, and she needs to wake up and smell the coffee.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Deputy. Much appreciated.